Boo! Very scary, I know. Anyways, that was almost as scary as this winter, you know. That's what we're talking about in this video. Insane transition, I know. Okay, but I have a genuine topic to talk about today, which is this year's winter. I don't know if it's just me, but this year's winter just felt nothing like every other winter before. Not better or not worse, just a lot different, I think. And by that different, I mean that it was literally just like natural disaster survival challenge from Mr. Beast. It genuinely felt like it for like a few days. And it kind of still feels like it. I mean, when the news came and I saw it outside, that there was just this insane amount of snow outside, I was thinking, okay, this is like a lot. This is like a lot compared to what I've seen previous years, but this shouldn't be too bad. Wrong. Every single like social product that my government is supposed to pay for just completely shut down. The how do you even call it? Those cars that come by that take out the trash, those guys just did not come by for like 2 or 3 weeks. I think they're coming by now, and it looked absolutely disgusting. Like the entire country was just slowly shut down because of, would you believe it, 8-inch snow. I know, this is something that we should all be worried about. I think the reason that Christmas just felt different is because all of this snow came right after Christmas and right after New Year's Eve. And before Christmas and before New Year's Eve, it wasn't really like an anticipation thing. Nobody really felt like in that literally Christmas spirit like you usually do. I feel like that's just something that everybody experienced just because of the fact that for some reason it was oddly warm outside and like zero snow at all. So it kind of just looked like autumn, but like the trees having a little bit less leaves and the calendar being a little bit closer to Christmas Eve. But then on Christmas Eve, I think the Christmas spirit was definitely there. You know, opening presents was always going to be fun to me. But then the best part about all this like 8-inch snow and this, you know, everything being shut down because of it was that right in time for all of this to happen, winter break ended at B and everybody else had to go back to school. And the teachers weren't like, okay, it's okay, you know, if you go back a few minutes later, if you come to school like a little bit late, that's okay, you know, we can forgive you. They were like, no, figure it out. Like one day I just came back from lunch break and my hands were like colors I've never seen on my hands before. The base of my hands were like purple and blue, and then the tips were like red. It looked absolutely insane. So I went to one of my girls in my class. Okay, apparently I was high on crack. It's one of the girls in my class, not mine. And then I just pleaded and begged for her to give me one of those hand warmers, the ones filled with like liquid, and then you like click a little thing on it and it turns into a solid piece that you can warm your hands with. I have no idea how that works. It's just very cool. And you know, after learning my mistake of just, I'm not gonna go outside anymore with my hands like being exposed like that, because then they're gonna turn all colors of a rainbow. You know, I learned my mistake and I stayed inside, and then like 5 minutes later, like 5 girls out of my class just came back with 2 massive pizza boxes. I just looked at the boxes and I already could tell that that was more than $30. And I saw those pizza boxes, and the second thing that I thought right after the price of them was, wow, I could never do this with my friends. Because with my friends, there's always that one guy is buying everybody everything, and all the other boys are pretending like they're completely homeless and unemployed. Meanwhile, their parents recently bought like 5 properties in Monaco. And then also, while we were chilling inside, one of my friends just checks the weather app, and it says, oh, winds up to 130 kilometers per hour, which is about 85 miles per hour in American numbers. And it says life-threatening to go outside after 4 p.m. We have school until 3:30 p.m. I'm not getting home by 4 p.m. Are you kidding me? And so this next thing that's kind of also become a problem, just very recently as I'm recording this video, I have to give you guys a little science lesson, okay? So you know snow, right? When it melts, it turns into water. But then when it melts during the day, it stays water, and during the night it freezes and turns into ice. And ice is very slippery. And that's a pretty big problem if you're going to the school by bus every single day. I even made an entire video about problems taking the bus. You guys can watch it after this one. But I think you get the point, right? Having icy roads while having to go to school, and you know, a few minutes late isn't a problem. But if you come too late, like it's genuinely a problem. I think it's in every school, I guess. And I just think that is absolutely stupid. I guess it makes sense because this insane amount of snow has to melt and go somewhere. But why did nobody ever care to just shovel away the snow? Why? Now the entire road is just covered in ice and nobody's getting anywhere. Congratulations. But okay, I've talked enough about like all of this. Why is it actually that winter is like this now? You know, back in the day, there used to be so much snow, even on Christmas, even like in November. And that was like 10 years ago. I recall 10 years ago when I went outside during like end of November and there was snow outside, like actual snow, not just like a 2 millimeters. So why is it that now winter is just this extreme of like, oh, it's acceptable, and then the other 10 days later, it's like, oh my god, we are all gonna die. Well, guess what, guys? It's called climate change. Yeah, I hate to bring up this topic, but it is actually what the problem is. Listen, as long as little Timmy is scrolling on TikTok, sees a pair of baggy joggers and thinks, oh my god, this is crazy, I should buy this, and then buys it for like $2 from Temu. As long as that goes on, there's just going to be more carbon dioxide being pumped into the ecosystem, which doesn't just mean that the world gets warmer generally. It also means that the summers are going to be warmer and the winters are going to be colder. So yeah, if we're going to like in 5 years have like the next ice age, make sure to send this video to me. And if you remember to send this video to me, I'll give you a piece of ice like flavored with cherry or something.